Live from the tank on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents NCAA Division II women's basketball coverage. Today's matchup, which tips off at 1 p.m. Eastern, features the East Stroudsburg University Warriors taking on the College of Staten Island Dolphins. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman, and I am joined by my broadcast partner, Nick Durst. And Nick, our viewers may have noticed we are on the air a bit early today. We have a very special presentation ahead of today's game. We have relaunched the Dolphin Pod, the CSI Athletics podcast. Of course, Dave Pizzuto got that started several years back. I had the privilege of being his co-host when that podcast was launched back in the summer of 2019. We officially relaunch on Monday, but our viewers who have tuned in early for our pregame show get a special sneak peek of Episode 1.
Oh, yes, the highly anticipated return of the Dolphin Pod. I, of course, was a former guest. You were a former co-host. Now you are the host. And you had an amazing guest on for your first episode. And if you're tuning in now for the extended early pregame coverage here, brought to you by McDonald's perhaps, you are in for a treat. Joe, why don't you let everybody know what they're going to say and who the big guest was?
Well, coming up in just a minute, you will see my conversation with CSI Dolphins men's basketball head coach, TJ Tibbs. And speaking of McDonald's, we talked a bit about that. We talked about your accessories on the court during your pregame interview with TJ during our Tournament of Heroes last weekend. We talked about some of your very exciting calls, TJ and the team. Big fans of your work, so hopefully we'll get to hear some more about that in the future. We always love the praise, but we talk about you quite a bit on the podcast toward the end as well. Your Instagram got a plug. Our viewers will get to see all of that and more from my conversation with CSI men's basketball head coach TJ Tibbs. So I will throw it over to myself. This interview was recorded yesterday. I had a brief open, followed by my conversation with CSI men's basketball head coach TJ Tibbs. A sneak peek of Episode 1 of the Dolphin Pod coming up right now.
Right now.
Welcome, everyone, to the relaunch of the Dolphin Pod. This is Joe Foreman. I will be your host this week. And if you're watching this during our exclusive preview, coming up next will be CSI Dolphins women's basketball. The Dolphins at home today against East Stroudsburg University. That game is coming up at 1 p.m. But again, if you are watching during our exclusive preview on Saturday, November 19th, you will be sent straight to our interview with CSI Dolphins head coach TJ Tibbs. Of course, TJ is the head coach of the men's basketball team. Our next interview will be with CSI Dolphins women's basketball head coach Nicole Sarcone. And welcome back to the Dolphin Pod, our relaunch Episode 1, the pilot of the all-new Dolphin Pod. Once again, this is Joe Foreman joining you from the College of Staten Island, and I am joined by men's basketball head coach TJ Tibbs. I know Dave always appreciated your willingness to come on and talk to him, and I appreciate you coming back to talk to me on this pilot episode.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you having me. It's always been a great time to come on the Dolphin Pod and whatever capacity it may be and just talk about Dolphin sports. And it's great to be here with you. And Dave definitely started an amazing thing, and it's great and only right and fitting that you're the one carrying it on. So it's great to be sitting here with you talking about things.
Our loyal listeners know that you spent the last year ahead of this year as the interim director of athletics and recreation. You returned to the sidelines about a week ago for our annual Tournament of Heroes. Return to the sideline. What you expected versus how it actually turned out. What were the differences there, or did it go as you expected?
Yeah, I mean, as far as a team standpoint, it didn't go as we expected because, you want to win every game that you played. But, the Tournament of Heroes is about way more than my individual return, which, of course, around here, it's a big deal personally, a big deal in my family. But that day will forever be about the three men that passed away in 9/11, their families, their legacies, what they meant to our program, what they still mean to our program, and exposing that to other people who are not a part of our program, and including the newcomers in our program. It's their first time going around with it. But I had a lot of emotions personally. I hadn't coached in 2 years. You know, the COVID year, we spent time on Zoom. We didn't get to practice. And of course, last year being an interim AD. So it was just a long time coming. I really just couldn't stop smiling leading up to it and just being around. It just feels so great to be back on the sideline with the guys and, coaching and at the place where I played at. It's just, I'd be here all day if I tried to put my emotions into words.
We're going to talk about it a bit more later. At one point, you weren't smiling, and that was the halftime interview. It's hard to get you to crack a smile during the halftime interview. I promise I'm going to try before the end of the season. But speaking about the Tournament of Heroes, of course, Terrence Aiken, Scott Davidson, Tom Hannafin, the reason we all gather at the start of each men's basketball season at our Tournament of Heroes, that was no different this year. But how about the energy in the building? Last year, there was definitely some energy in the building, but for this Tournament of Heroes, with some of the restrictions lifted in terms of access to campus and attending games, the tank was packed, and it was quite the atmosphere.
Electric. And there's no mistake. I think the reason why we played well was because of the crowd. So many families, alumni. I mean, we have our alumni come upstairs to the locker room after the game, and there were so many former players here, so many families here, so many community members here. It was just awesome. And kudos to the other three teams that were here, Wilmington, Goldie, and Bentley. They traveled well. And I know Bentley and Goldie played before us, and some hung around and watched the game, and it just added to the atmosphere. And, Friday night is always the night here, the first game. And it was just an electric atmosphere, incredible basketball game, a great team. Kudos to Wilmington for winning the game. But that's the stuff that makes CSI what it is there's so many different people that have ties to this program and community people being here at the game and just being loud for our team. So we just got to give them something to continue to cheer about.
Well, speaking of the halftime interview, most often when you join us for halftime, you talk about what needs to be improved. This weekend, it was a slow finish to the half. You spoke about that and the toughness that you wanted to see from your team. Now, what many people don't see on camera is when you're very proud of your team, those celebrations. I don't get to share those with you on camera much. There are recordings of them. I know from a few years back, we had some big victories. You're quite the celebratory coach on camera during those big times and those big wins, but I know it's a broad question. What would you say is your proudest moment as a coach? What was your most proud moment as head coach from your entire tenure? And of course, that leads up until now, this past week.
In general, it is certainly the graduation rate of what we have here. We take pride in guys who have exhausted their eligibility and them graduating. So we've graduated all but one player so far. And I know that one player is going to work on what he needs to get done, and that's a big thing in our program. So every year, graduation is a really proud moment for me. It's the biggest moment in the program. But if I had to pick something on the court as far as proud, I remember my first victory here, selfishly speaking. It was tough. We weren't supposed to be a good team that year. Everybody around here, it was my first year. We were talking about rebuilding. And I was talking about everything but rebuilding. And we won a game versus Sinus at the Lebanon Valley tournament. My dad surprised me at the game, drove all the way up by himself to the game. And after the game, I just walked off the court, and my dad's not a big show of emotion. My dad's a tough guy, and he just hugged me, and I just lost it, and it was crying hysterically. It was just such a big moment. There's so many things that were going on, and at the time, do you have confidence? Can you do this? Can you coach? We had lost a bunch of games. There was a lot of whispers around the department about how bad we were going to be. And just to get that first one was such a big moment. And then you walk into the locker room and these guys are waiting with water bottles. And it's still a video that the guys share from time to time, lifted me up. And then I lost it again, was crying again. So that first team has meant a lot to me and a lot to my growth. And they've given me the joy to coach. So graduation is definitely the biggest thing. And then selfishly, that first win just kind of proving to myself that, I can do this. And I think that's very important for confidence for anybody.
And I know your first team is a special team to me. That was my first full season calling basketball. So your start as head coach and my start as doing most of the games on Sportsnet by that time coincided, and I know that team was a lot of fun to watch, and especially the team that went down to Cabrini. For me as a broadcaster, that was one of the craziest days I've ever experienced, driving up there through the snow, getting there, getting a chance to call the game, operate the camera was a lot of fun for me. But something you said about the graduation rate, that speaks to the culture of your team, and it led right into my next question pretty well. Part of it is on the court, the brand of basketball you're looking to play, but what is the culture you're looking to establish with your team? I know this is something you've touched on in the past. Perhaps that's changed a bit since the last time you were here, as you've learned more through your coaching tenure. Brand of basketball on the court and the culture both on and off of it.
Player-centric. We have to be player-led and player-driven. We have to, as coaches, be able to empower the players to be able to have a big impact on the program. So I love recruiting high school kids because they're going to be way different men than they are when they're young men when they come into the program. I thoroughly enjoyed their growth and the little things. We have such a young team now, and there's so many things for them to grow on daily. It's why I coach college basketball, and I know college basketball is shifting to get as old as you possibly can, and the transfer portal and getting kids for 1 year, and kudos to anybody who does that, and it's within the rules. But I'd much rather have a kid for 4 years, 5 years in some cases, with redshirt opportunities, like a Chris Velasquez, who's been here for 5 years, was the first kid I ever recruited. And the fact that I can sit down with Chris Velasquez and talk about when he scored his 1,000-point, I was at the game in high school. His last high school game, he lost at the buzzer. I was at that game. And I'm going to be a part of his last college game. There's nothing better than that. And that kid is going to be a part of my life for life, and I'm going to be a part of his life for life. So our program has to reflect that on and off the court. We have extremely high standards. We have to excel in the classroom. We want to be the best GPA here, and it's pretty hard with the programs all excelling here. We want to be the best GPA in men's basketball in the conference and in the region. We want to be incredibly active socially, and we want to be the best basketball players we possibly can. So it's very hard to do all three, to be great academically, athletically, and socially. But we try to recruit young men and families that are going to buy into that and understand that there's going to be struggle before there's progress, and there's progress every single day. I'm the team's biggest fan, but I'm also their harshest critic. And it starts with my criticism of myself, my accountability of myself and the coaches, and just working its way through there. But we can't reach our levels of heights without the players growing and taking responsibility and accountability of the program.
Well, in terms of fandom, I'm not far behind you. I've always been behind this team, a supporter, both from the sidelines and when I'm not here watching from home, though. I'm not sure I've missed more than one game in the last 6 seasons. So I've been here for most of them. It's been a great ride, and I really enjoy watching your team play. One last question about this year's team, their performance so far. What's your evaluation of your team so far, and what do you have to do heading into next week's game to pick up your first victory at St. Michael's?
I think we're right where we should be. I think our record could be any combination of 2-1, 1-2. We didn't play good enough the other night versus Holy Family. Kudos to them to really win the game. We didn't make enough shots, but I thought we played our best defensive game of the year. The game kind of got away. They had a string of threes in the second half, and that's kind of just basketball. The ball went in the basket for them in a run, and we didn't make a run back, and the game got away from us. But I'm excited about where we are. I think we're growing in every aspect of the game. We're playing a lot of youth, and I'm proud of that. A lot of sophomores, a lot of freshmen, one junior. We have a lot of guys hurt right now that would contribute, but everybody's stepping up, and we don't make any excuses as next man up. So we, of course, would like to be 3-0 right now. And every team wants to win every game that they play, but we need to continue to build so that we're effective in the conference season. We're in a conference right now that is extremely competitive, and it's going to be a fight, a battle every single night. We have to build ourselves to be ready to play that for the stretch run of the conference season. So we want to win every game we play. That's why we scheduled them. But the most important thing, like with all our teams, is to make sure we're growing, and then the results will come. We don't want any gold-plated results. We want to be gold. We could be 2-1 or 1-2. We could have got a win in Tournament of Heroes, but the guys might have not understood all the things we need to get better at to actually win more basketball games. So I don't want anything handed to us. I want to actually earn our wins, and we'll start to build from there. So the guys are working hard every single day. They're receptive to coaching. They come in a lot for individual film, and I have confidence in this group that we'll grow and we'll be right where we should be at the end.
Now, I'm 1-0 on the season. Thanks to you, a victory in the faculty, staff versus students game. Now, before we talk about how that game ended...
Hold on, you certainly contributed, and we spoke about this. So.
Not in a good way, but we're going to talk about that right now. I want to get your coaching expertise. I need you to evaluate the performance of me and the sports information staff as we came in and promptly turned what was a 2-point deficit into a 9-point deficit. How'd we do?
Well, I'll tell you this first off. Your accessory game was better than anybody's ever. This man was out here playing with an AirPod.
Accidentally.
Yeah, the AirPod in his ear. I've seen guys with sleeves and headbands and leg sleeves, but an AirPod on the basketball court, that was new to me. So your accessory game was 10 out of 10.
Okay.
We had hats out there from the SID staff. I mean, no, but I thought, I mean, you played hard. You played hard.
I definitely gave it my best effort.
You definitely played hard.
It wasn't very good, but I gave it my
best.
You
rebounded. I mean, you contributed. And I think what I like to say from a coaching standpoint is your group wore the group down. So when the first group
That's
came
a generous assessment.
When the first group came in, it was a little bit easier for us to do some damage. But no, that was it's a fun game every year. We've played the football games, softball games, the basketball games. I think it's just another way for us to ingratiate ourselves to the students. So that was a fun game.
Now let's talk about how the game ended. Our viewers at home are going to see it on their screens, but you and I will relive it right now. Our team down at the end by 2 points. Nobody plays for the tie in the faculty, staff versus students game. That is forbidden.
No overtime.
So we need a winner. We put the ball in your hands. What went through your head on that play leading up to the game-winning shot?
Well, it's so funny because it's I haven't played basketball since I left here in 2012, but it just felt right. Now, I was fortunate to be on a couple of teams and be in positions where they trusted me to take some last shots. And it's funny because I'm out there with Kurt Menezzi, who was my teammate, and a couple other men's basketball coaches. And there was no discussion. There was no doubt about it. I was shooting a three. I didn't care who was guarding me, how many people guarded me. I was getting a three up. And, just got to a spot and rose up. And fortunately, I found a guy who was smaller than me on the court. So I was able to rise up and get my shot off. And the ball went through. And that was it for me. I was exhausted, and I promptly left the gym.
You sprinted out of there quick.
I left the gym. I didn't want to hear nothing. I didn't have energy to celebrate. I actually left and went next door and just laid down on the ground because I was literally exhausted. But that was a fun way.
As was I. And I was on the bench.
No, it was a fun way. But, yeah, undefeated. I'm undefeated in football, basketball. So, yes. They need better students. So if students are watching this, go recruit somebody.
He's looking at the camera now. You know he means business.
Go recruit somebody to come out and guard me next year because I need somebody who's going to make me sweat a little bit more.
We'll certainly be looking forward to football. Whether or not you get out there for that, we'll see. We didn't have you last year. We have had you in the past. I know I haven't lost a football game or a softball game. Basketball, have we lost since you arrived?
We have never lost.
Okay, then I have never lost a faculty staff game. So now I'm going to look at the camera and challenge someone to come out and take the staff down. It should be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Of course, Sal does a great job organizing those events.
Awesome job, man. There's so much work that goes into that. And what I love about Sal is that the kids, the students, really respect Sal and really appreciate what he does. And for us to come out, after a day of hard work, we had a game the next day, and just to be able to go out there and play basketball with a ref and under the whistle and laugh and win.
That's right. We won. Don't forget it. 1-0.
Had to win. Shout out to Sal and his staff that helped out because that's just so much fun. That's all. I love that.
We're going to have some guest co-hosts on the Dolphin Pod. Perhaps one episode we could have you, but certainly Sal will be a frequent guest host of mine here on the all-new Dolphin Pod. So we look forward to having Sal join us for that. Now, you and I do have some experience as play-by-play and color commentators side by side. We've done a game in the past. We had an unfinished conversation. Our favorite sauce. I know you gave your opinions. I asked you, is ketchup a sauce? The answer is still no, correct?
It's not a sauce. It is a condiment.
Okay, that's a good answer. That's probably the right answer, but ketchup is still my go-to. Now, my question for you is, have you downloaded any of those apps and started taking advantage of all that free food?
I have not. I'm so lazy when it comes to things like that. I barely even use my wife gets on me because I hoard my my credit card membership points. We need things and it's like flights or whatever, and it's just, let's use your points. I'm like, no, because we might need them for, 2040 when the world goes down and we need a flight or something like that. But no, I haven't downloaded any of the apps, but I am still on a mission to find the best sauces of everywhere. And man, my list probably from then, my list has grown of all the sauces that I've tried and that I've loved.
Well, of course, our newest scoreboard sponsor is McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
What's your go-to order at McDonald's, and do you have a favorite sauce from their lineup?
Yeah, listen, man, I'll get a McChicken with mac sauce, or a McDouble with mac sauce. Got to get nuggets because you can't stop at McDonald's without nuggets, and get fries. And I get one sweet and sour sauce and one barbecue sauce. If the people at the window are feeling good, I'll get myself the spicy, the orange sauce. I think it's buffalo sauce there. So I have gone to some McDonald's, and they're kind of stingy with the sauces. And whenever somebody's willing to give me 6 to 8 sauces, regardless of what I have, I'm taking those home and I'm saving them for later. So big sauce guy here.
Now, I spoke about your halftime interview during the Tournament of Heroes Game 1, and I said we'd circle back to it. We're going to do that right now. How hard was it for you not to crack a smile when you saw what Nick Durst was holding in his left hand? He had a McDonald's cup filled with water. Then on top of the straw, he had his box of chicken McNuggets resting on top of that straw. What was going through your mind when you saw that?
First of all, if it wasn't Nick, I probably would have lost it, but it's Nick. So, I mean,
what does that mean?
This guy's Instagram is Nick's food and stuff.
Good point.
So
Good point.
I didn't know what was going on. What is going on with this guy? And why are the nuggets on top of the drink? It was hilarious, but I was so locked. I seen it, but I was so locked that I didn't have time. And when I rewatched the interview, I was like, wow, he mentioned McDonald's as a sponsor, which I know, but I didn't even hear that when he was speaking to me. But I think it's hilarious. The Mickey threes last year for Austin Mick.
We love that.
Oh yeah. So, and I've heard some of his references, this year. He's always he's gonna pay homage to people during the broadcast. So,
certainly does.
Yeah, no, it was a little hard for me not to smile with that out, but he did a great job with that halftime interview.
According to Nick, Luis Armas hit a Fergalicious 3 during the most recent game. I misheard it and said to him during the broadcast, I've never heard someone use the word delicious
right.
to describe a 3. It's a testament to how loud it was in the building this weekend.
He said he's working out. He used the line from the song, man. That was incredible. I don't even know how he does this. Does he come in with a list of things like, if this happens, I'm going to say this? Or does he just freestyle off the top? Because that's just, I don't even know how you even equate the two.
A little of both. Now, I'm watching him during the game, and as he makes these calls, he's writing this stuff down so he can timestamp, go back, and then post it to his Instagram, which is Nick's Food Stuff. So follow that, of course, on Instagram. Now, Nick did get a message. Your players are very interested in pregame interviews. Is that something that will ever happen?
Yeah, I think anything that supports what's going on here and trumpets the players and what they're doing is great. I mean, I stay in the locker room during pregame warmups because guys need a way to get ready. I get ready a certain way. I don't want to be a burden to guys getting ready because I get ready a certain way. I was like that as a player. I didn't come out to warmups until I had to, because everybody gets ready differently, and I want to respect that. So if you guys think it's a good idea, it's definitely a great idea. So I'm with anything that helps the players get exposed and shows people what they're doing.
Well, I know he'll be excited to hear that. Last question, circling back to the team one final time. Goals for the remainder of the season, and of course the big question on the minds of many people, how important is this year being playoff eligible to you personally and to the players and the team?
Well, I'll start with that first. Being playoff eligible is everything. I'll tell you, in recruiting, a lot of times, people would say they wouldn't choose us because we can't go to the tournament, and I thought that stuff was kind of overrated. You choose schools for the experience and building, and there are teams that are eligible every year to go to the playoffs, but everybody doesn't make the playoffs. Everybody doesn't make the NCAA tournament. So I think being eligible for the playoffs gives us a little bit more credibility with people that don't really understand how college basketball works, and plus, you're competing for something. I remember that first year, 1920, my last year coaching before this year. It was a really tough year just because in the middle of January, it's snowing outside, you come into practice, and we have a game in 2 days. But to some of the seniors who have been in 2 championship games and won a championship, how much did the game really matter? You're not hyping up positioning. Our games in the CUNYAC didn't matter in the standings. So it was really difficult. You want to compete because there's a game out there, but at the same time, it was really hard. So to be able to have an end goal and continue to build is awesome to be back in that. The goals are always the same. It's to win a championship every single year. Anything less than a championship is just not a success. So that's what the standard Coach Petoza set. Coaches before him, Coach Pickman, Coach Rupert. I'm going to forget coaches, so I'm going to stop right there. But it's very important for us to contend for a championship. So everything that goes on for the season is about improving every single day, getting better, staying healthy, making sure we can control what we can control, and to be right there in the end so that we can contend. We just want to give ourselves a chance. So, yeah, making the playoffs is certainly a goal, but we're trying to win a championship. So whether we make the playoffs as a 6 seed, we make the playoffs as a 1 seed, we're fighting for it on the last day. Of course, you have to make the playoffs first. We don't want to skip steps, but we're not talking about making the playoffs. We're talking about steps we need to be a championship program because just making the playoffs, as great as it would be for the first time, it would be a low bar to set respectfully. And that's just not how we roll here in this program.
Well, TJ, as always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining the show. Once again, this is the relaunch of the Dolphin Pod, our pilot episode exclusively at csidolphins.com. Live from the tank on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents NCAA Division II women's basketball coverage on the ECC network. Once again, this is Joe Foreman alongside Nick Durst, and we hope you enjoyed our exclusive preview of Episode 1 of the Dolphin Pod. The Dolphin Pod relaunches officially on Monday. Of course, that project was started by Dave Pizzuto all the way back in the summer of 2019. I had the privilege of co-hosting, and upon my return here to the College of Staten Island back in August, I made it a point to get the Dolphin Pod back up and running once again, and we've made that happen this weekend. Our exclusive preview, of course, airing ahead of our pregame show today. You can check out the full episode on Monday over at csidolphins.com. We'll also be using Anchor to distribute that podcast across various channels so you can consume the podcast using your favorite platform. But, Nick, you were a topic of discussion on this week's Dolphin Pod. It was a great show. Now we have women's basketball to look forward to. Dolphins taking on the Warriors here at the Tank.
Dolphins here going for their first win on the season. Unfortunately, 0-3. Last time at the Tank was the tip-off of the season. A heartbreaker loss. Very close margin of victory there. But they're 0-3. Their last game, Joe, on the road at Bloomfield, a 65-57 loss. So they're going to look to turn this thing around here starting today and get them on the right track, get their first victory this season. But it will not be easy because their opponents, East Stroudsburg University Warriors, they're undefeated on the season, 2-0 so far.
Well, if the Dolphins are going to pick up their first win and hand East Stroudsburg their first defeat, they're going to be looking toward Jenelise Alarcon to help them do that. Alarcon was phenomenal once again in CSI's last game. 18 points on 8 of 11 shooting, added 4 more rebounds and 5 assists. She is coming off of East Coast Conference weekly honor roll recognition. That honor roll includes players that were nominated for weekly awards but did not receive them. Alarcon a part of the honor roll last week, following a very strong performance during the 2022 CSI Women's Basketball Conference Challenge. And you said it, Nick. The Dolphins played a couple of very close games, could not come away with the win. They hope to turn their fortunes around here today.
Absolutely. Alarcon, so far this season, she's been their best player, same as last year when she was just dominating the conference, the East Coast Conference. 20 points per game so far this season. That's tremendous, Joe. If she can keep it up, that's going to be great for the team in the long haul. But the thing we love about Alarcon's game the most is her rebounding. She's averaging just shy of 9 rebounds per game. It's been tremendous. It's been awesome. And the other great scorer so far this season has been Ashley Lambert. She's averaging 11 points per game, shooting 35% from three-point line, and averaging 11 points. Her last game, 11 points. So right to the average there, 7 rebounds as well in that one. But overall here, Dolphins got to do a better job shooting the 3 here today. Only shooting 40% last game, 4 for 13, which is not horrible, but overall they got to get that up if they're going to try to compete here with this team, who's a really good shooting, fundamentally sound team from East Stroudsburg.
Well, if the Dolphins are going to look to score from the outside, another player they can turn to, in addition to Ashley Lambert, is Dana Phelan. Phelan, a freshman for this Dolphins team, shooting just shy of 40% from downtown. She was very strong in CSI's last game, but that was not enough against the University of Bridgeport. And a big issue for this Dolphins team has been they've been playing from behind in the fourth quarter. They did have a lead against Bridgeport. That lead got away. In the middle of the fourth quarter, they fell behind, and in the closing minutes, once again, the Dolphins were trying to come back. They can't afford to play from behind once again against the Warriors today.
No, and right now, obviously, the team has more depth this season. Last year, we saw them playing with a 7-person rotation a lot of the time, which is very tough to do. But right now, they are definitely missing Gia Esposito off the bench, giving that instant offense. Gia, tremendous, especially in the fourth quarter. How many times did we see her lead the team back last season and score? Not going to be back right now, but we are hearing from her that she might be back next week, she's hoping, for the next game.
The Dolphins could certainly use her, and I think a big reason that the Dolphins need Esposito back, in addition to the shooting, it takes some of the playmaking burden off of Lizzie LaFaro. She's had the ball in her hands a lot this year. Certainly a capable playmaker, but if Esposito could help lessen that burden, perhaps LaFaro gets some more open shots. She hasn't scored it the way she did last year early in the season. The Dolphins certainly hope to see her offensive numbers pick up in the scoring department, as they need more scorers out there on the floor in order to pick up a win today against the Warriors. But shifting our attention to the visiting East Stroudsburg University Warriors, they come in 2-0 following a pair of victories in the Millersville Conference Challenge. And, of course, they have one player who really stands out statistically on their roster. Ryan Weesey has been fantastic so far this season. She scored it, rebounded it, and shot the ball incredibly well.
Yeah, boy, oh boy, Joe. Our numbers are tremendous right now. Averaging 30.5 points per game, 11.5 rebounds per game, 85% field goal shooting, and 80% from three-point range. I mean, that is just absolutely tremendous and unheralded numbers that you would see, even though it's early in the season, only 2 games. That's just big time. And overall, her great numbers have gone into the team's success. The team is shooting 46% from the field, 58% from three-point range, 14 of 24 on the season. And the rebounding margin is also a story here, for sure.
Yeah, they lose the rebounding battle on average by 11.5 rebounds per game. Perhaps that's an area the Dolphins can look to exploit here this afternoon. You mentioned the 58% shooting from downtown for this Warriors team. We see alone 12 of 15 from three-point range. The team is 14 of 24, so only 2 of 9 on shots not attempted by their leading scorer. I think it's clear who the Dolphins need to slow down. It should be a very interesting battle between Weesey and Alarcon down low in this game. We'll see who gets the better of that. But coming up next, the College of Staten Island Dolphins look for their first win of the season as they take on the East Stroudsburg University Warriors. Tip-off coming up next on the other side of this short break.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
And we are back from the tank. Once again, this is Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside Nick Durst. And starting lineups are being introduced out on the floor. So I will bring you the starters, beginning first with the visiting Warriors of East Stroudsburg University. In numerical order, the Warrior starters are as follows. Number 11, Izzy Vogel. Number 12, Shyla Sanford. Number 14, Ryan Weesey. Number 21, Carly Adams. And number 24, Cassidy Saylor. Starters for the College of Staten Island. Number 2, Ashley Lambert. Number 3, Noemia Masinge. Number 4, Kaya Johnson. Number 13, Jenelise Alarcon. And number 14, Lizzie LaFaro. The Dolphins are coached by Nicole Sarcone. And the Warriors are coached by Stephanie Del Prior.
A 5'8" sophomore from Baltimore, New York. Number 14, Lizzie LaFaro. Head coach for CSI is Nicole Sarcone. The assistants are Kelsey Carey and Sam Square.
Had to get our live scoreboard up on the screen for you ahead of tip-off. We are still operating manually, we hope, for the final time this season. We hope.
We can only hope. This is a good time of year for hoping, so.
It's early enough where we can hope.
Gentlemen, before tonight's tip-off, we'd like to remind you that the NCAA and the College of Staten Island promote good sportsmanship by student-athletes, coaches, and spectators. Request your cooperation.
So we are about to get started here, and it's going to be Alarcon jumping for this one, along with Ryan Weesey. And we'll see who wins the battle between these two down low today. Actually, Weesey's not jumping, but.
Opening tip goes to the Dolphins. LaFaro will use the Alarcon screen, drop it off to Johnson. Lambert on the left wing, gets it over to Masinge. Noemia looks to drive to the rim, up and in off glass.
Noemia with a great sudden burst there to get things started, right to the hoop, lays it up and in for two.
And that three-pointer is good. As if anyone is checking out our live stats, we do apologize. Our live stats are not up and running yet. I'll have to head over during the next break and take care of that. But the Dolphins trail by a single point following that three.
Weesey knocking down the three. We mentioned in the pregame, got to watch out for her beyond the arc.
Ryan Weesey wasting no time as Masinge looked to make it two straight, but doesn't get the roll.
Masinge gets to the basket there, but unable to make it fall.
20 to shoot for the Warriors. They work it around the outside. This is Weesey using the screen. Back up top. Vogel lost it, and it's taken away by Alarcon.
Alarcon with the great defense there gets the steal.
Johnson in the corner with 20 on the shot clock. This is Masinge. Over to Alarcon. She uses the screen. Kick out. LaFaro looks to drive. Floater. No good. And the rebound goes to Weesey. Jab step and jumper is good by Izzy Vogel.
Vogel knocks that one in, left open, and she makes the Dolphins pay.
LaFaro surveys and gets it over to Masinge. 15 on the shot clock. Johnson given some space here. They work it inside to Alarcon. Back to the basket. She goes at Vogel, and she traveled.
Vogel with some good smothering defense there. Forces Alarcon into the travel.
Weesey Again, brings it up, gets it to Vogel. No hesitation on the mid-range shot, and that's off the back iron and out. Here comes Kaya Johnson. To the rim goes Masinge. She draws the foul. And Noemia will head to the line for 2 shots.
Masinge is coming out here with a lot of energy, Joe. Taking the ball to the basket. She's having no troubles getting down low.
Early substitution for East Stroudsburg. Corinne Gill will check in, and Ryan Weesey heads to the bench for an early breather. Two shots at the line for Noemia Masinge. She has the only 2 Dolphins points thus far. Three for 3 at the line this season. Make it 4 for 4.
Right now, responsible for all the Dolphins' points here early in this one.
Second free throw, no good. Rebound goes to Vogel. Gill will bring it up, her team leading by a pair. She used the Vogel screen, looks to drive. Left-handed floater off the window is good.
No hesitation there. Gill takes it to the basket. Only 5'2", but didn't matter. Played big down there right now and gets the layup.
Strong move to the rim by Gill and a nice finish with the left. Warriors by 4. Lambert for 3. No good. LaFaro battles for the rebound. She's got it. 15 on the shot clock. Masinge. Cross court for LaFaro. That's a bad pass stolen by Gill. Gill on the break. Her pass stolen by Johnson. Alarcon ahead of the field, and that pass is too long.
You give it, you take it, you give it away again. Some bad passing there on that sequence, Joe. 3 turnovers in a row.
Gill brings it up once again. Got on the board quickly after coming in off the bench last possession. She gets it back off the handoff. Another left-handed finish is good. Count it, and 1.
Gill showing off right now that strong move to the basket with the back-to-back left-handed layups. This one absorbs the contact, and she will head to the line for one more. So instant offense by Gill off the bench. Kira Rose checks into the game for Noemia Masinge for the Dolphins.
Free throw is no good. The East Stroudsburg lead remains 6. Lambert over to Rose. And that's another bad pass tipped out to LaFaro. 12 on the shot clock. LaFaro for 3. And that's down. It rattles in.
Reminiscent of a particular half-court heave that you took pregame.
One could say that. We'll see if Marquise posts that to social media as we have another foul at this end of the floor. Izzy Vogel will head to the line for 2 shots.
Nice job, though, there by LaFaro. She felt a little uncomfortable taking that shot from what I could see, but she's able to knock it in as it rattled off the rim. Ashley Lambert heads to the bench, and Thalen checks in to replace her.
Izzy Vogel to the line for 2 shots. Her team leads by 3 and make it 4. One more for Vogel, and she goes 2 for 2 from the stripe.
Vogel off to a strong start this afternoon.
Johnson pulls up. Too strong. Phelan tips it, but the rebound goes to Gill. Gill has her pass tipped and stolen by LaFaro. Lizzie on the drive. Throws up a wild shot. And the rebound goes to the Warriors. A lot of contact there on the drive. CSI supporters certainly wanted a foul call. Just inside of 5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Gill swings it. Vogel again. No good. Vogel's had a quick trigger early in this game. Has looked to shoot just about every time she's touched it.
Certainly not afraid to put up a shot.
Alarcon right corner. Looks to drive. She spins, pivots, and she traveled. And that will bring us to our first media timeout of the game. So with that, we'll step aside and take a quick break. Just over 4.5 to play in the opening quarter. Dolphins trail by 5.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island. Be sure to check out the Kettle Black's monthly calendar of events, only at kettleblackbar.com.
We are back from the tank where the Dolphins trail by 5. 4.5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Had to head across the way and get our live stats up and running during the break as we have a whistle at the other end of the floor and an offensive foul against the Warriors.
Lots of missed shots, steals, contact going on here early.
And there's another bad Dolphins pass. The Warriors have done a great job denying Jenelise Alarcon the ball. 20 to shoot for East Stroudsburg. Gill has it on the right wing. Feed inside for Vogel. Her 4th shot of the game is up and no good. Rebounded by Alarcon. Vogel just 1 of 4. Here comes Kyra Rose. And that's another wild shot, and she forces up another and is able to connect. What a shot by Rose. Wow.
Well, every rose has its thorn, and right there, Kyra, she's able to get her own rebound and lay it up and in.
How did she get that to go? As Vogel misses once again, she's now 1 of 5. Alarcon for Johnson. Now Phelan, she looks to drive, picks up her dribble, nearly turned it over. Here comes Johnson, and she's fouled.
Lots of cross-court passes here early, Joe. Most of them haven't paid off. That one there was almost stolen, but Johnson picks it up, and she takes it to the rim and gets fouled.
2 teams have already combined for 9 turnovers. It's been a sloppy first quarter. Kaya Johnson to the line for CSI. 2 shots coming up. Johnson on the season 3 of 4 from the line, and she's now 4 of 5.
Interesting here in the early part of the season, we're seeing Johnson being the primary ball handler quite often, which was not something we saw a lot of last season.
That rattles out. 1 of 2 trip to the line for Johnson. And building on your point, Nick, the Dolphins are 1 guard short as long as Gia Esposito remains out. Most of the ball handling duties have gone to either Johnson or LaFaro out of the starting lineup. Dolphins playing strong defense here. 7 to shoot. Adams, floater, off the window and out. Rebound goes to Rose. Here comes Kyra Rose to the rim. And jump ball is the call. Possession arrow favors the Warriors.
Just some good defense there by East Stroudsburg to force that jump ball.
Seen a lot of good defense by both sides in this opening quarter. The Warriors have really made a point of making sure that Jenelise Alarcon can't receive the ball into the basket.
So, Joe, I'm listening here as head coach Stephanie Del Priori is making her case to the referee that it shouldn't have been a jump ball, it should have been a block, and that it should have been the Dolphin player coming down out of bounds with the ball. So that was her case on that play.
She may have had a case there. Of course, that call would benefit the Warriors as they'd maintain the possession arrow. Gill into the corner, and once again an open look for Vogel. She can't knock it down, but the offensive rebound goes to Sanford.
Vogel's certainly ready to shoot.
Vogel double team. Got rid of it. Sanford, good feed to a wide open Leah Pishak.
Good movement there, which ended up having Pishak be wide open, and she knocks it down.
Phelan for three. No good. Rebound to Sanford. Gill looks to push. Ball up top as the Warriors continue to work it around the perimeter. 12 on the shot clock. Baseline drive, and Gill cannot get the roll. Rebound goes to Rose. Outlet up ahead to Alarcon. She's quickly double teamed. Dolphins work it around the outside. Phelan thought about a three. Amaya Jenkins into the game for the College of Staten Island. She looks to drive, and she's fouled.
Jenkins going right to the rim there. Vogel down low as well as Pishak, and Pishak committed the foul.
Jenkins to the line for two shots, and we mentioned Johnson and LaFaro getting a lot of the primary ball handler duties out of the Dolphins starting lineup. Jenkins has run some point off the CSI bench. She's short on that first free throw.
Ashley Lambert back in the game, and Brianna Moore also coming in. So LaFaro and Rose to the bench for now.
After that last miss, Jenkins just 3 of 7 from the line this year. Make it 4 of 8. Dolphins trail by 3.
We've seen in the past, Joe, plenty of games where for a short period of time, Brianna Moore could come in and definitely make an impact.
And you can count that basket through the contact. Shyla Sanford has the second Warriors and 1 of this first quarter. So lead back to 5.
It didn't work there, but I think the reason Moore is in here now is to kind of messy up the paint for East Stroudsburg, because right now they're having such an easy time getting to the rim.
That free throw is no good, and Alarcon has the rebound. Phelan surveys. Gets it to Jenkins. 15 on the shot clock. The Dolphins not going anywhere yet as Alarcon got laid out there. That's the 15th foul for East Stroudsburg.
45 seconds left in the first quarter here.
And a chance right here for Jenelise Alarcon to register her first points. But as we spoke about during the pregame, she hasn't just scored it this year. She's been a playmaker out of the post and has rebounded very well. The rebounding is no surprise, but has added that playmaking dimension to her game. And if they double team her on the block, she's found her open teammates. Alarcon 2 for 2 from the line. Those are first 2 points of the game. Warriors can go 2 for 1 if they hurry. And they certainly tried. as that's knocked away by Lambert out of bounds.
3-point game right now.
Stroudsburg will inbound from the baseline. 38 seconds remaining in the first quarter, 20 on the shot clock. Corner three is up and good. Ryan Weesey again from downtown.
Got to be careful if you're the Dolphins. Don't want to let her get heated up, averaging 30 points a game.
Dolphins have the last shot. 13 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Jenkins pulls up. That's way off. And it's rebounded by Sanford. 5 seconds remaining in the quarter. Gill up the floor. And that shot is no good. As Jessica Poland got one off before the buzzer, it would have counted. And her team leads by 6 at the end of 1. Our score: College of Staten Island 12 and East Stroudsburg University 18. When we come back, the start of quarter number 2 here on the ECC Network.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back from the tank. Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside Nick Durst. And the Dolphins trail by 6 points at the end of 1. This is the start of quarter number 2 from the College of Staten Island. CSI will possess it first. As Lambert had it knocked away, the Warriors continue to play very tight defense. As Lambert goes down to the floor and jump ball is called. Possession arrow favors East Stroudsburg once again. So the Warriors force an early turnover to start quarter number 2.
That three at the end of the first quarter was big, as it was a big 3-point swing. Dolphins are only down 3, and now they trail by 6.
That turnover for the Dolphins, number 6. Sanford. Kick out. Weesey for 3, and that's good.
Well, great job by her there to launch that one. And she's off to a great start, which is no surprise.
We talked about the great start to her season. How about the start to this game? 3 of 3, all from downtown, 9 points. As we have a foul underneath. And it will go against the Warriors. Substitutions for both sides. Bianca Giordano into the game for the Warriors, replacing Corinne Gill. Dana Phelan and Brianna Moore head to the Dolphins bench. Masinga and LaFaro back in. 20 to shoot for Staten Island. LaFaro uses the Alarcon screen. Alarcon looks to take it inside. She spins and draws a foul.
Alarcon to the line here. And right now, crucial free throws here. Trim away at this deficit with the clock stopped.
Her first, team's second.
Outside of Weesey, the Warriors have only shot it okay. Weesey 3 of 3. The rest of the team 5 of 13.
Vogel 1 for 6.
Dolphins, however, have shot just 3 of 12. And that won't get it done as Alarcon misses a pair of free throws. Giordano up top. It's Poland. She swings it over to Wiese, who looks to drive. She's quickly doubled, and Lambert tips that pass out of bounds.
Good job there by Lambert to get her hand on that cross-court pass.
Dolphins now have 7 turnovers, are shooting 3 of 12, and are only 5 of 10 from the line. Despite all of that, they're still within single digits. Poland, open corner 3, way too strong. Lambert has the rebound. Dolphins have not played poor defense in this game. They've forced a lot of tough shots. They just need to start putting the ball in the basket. 14 to shoot. LaFaro. Defended closely by Wiese. LaFaro floats one up, and she won't get the roll, but Masinge draws a foul on the putback, and Noemia heads back to the line for 2 more.
Well, the Dolphins doing a good job from the line right now, as this is where they are being able to kind of make up their deficit.
Quantity of attempts from the line have been there. However, Dolphins have not converted on 5 of those opportunities now. 6 of 11 from the charity stripe.
Need to start making some more of those, because that's the difference in the game right now.
And Masinge goes 2 of 2. Poland left open, instead looks to drive, and she was blocked. And Masinge makes the save. Good defense there from Jenkins, who tipped that shot. Masinge kept it in. LaFaro bounces it through the legs of Wiese, but that's easily stolen. I don't think the turnovers are as concerning for the Dolphins as how poor some of the decisions have been and some of the passes have been. Wiese has it up top, wants a screen. Masinge all over her. 5 to shoot. Poland inside, and that's a bad foul. Alarcon got too physical on the inside against Pishak. And it's a new 20-second shot clock for East Stroudsburg.
Anissa Perry checked in the game here for the Dolphins, her first action this afternoon.
Warriors will inbound it from the baseline. 20 on the shot clock following the Dolphins' foul. And a quick attempt off the inbound is good, and Izzy Vogel needed that one.
Making it count there, doing some damage.
Vogel hoping to turn around a slow start. Perry, pull up. That's a tough shot. She banks it in.
Perry couldn't even believe that she made that in. She turned around and was like, wow, tremendous job there to make that shot fall.
I share in her disbelief, as on the way up, it looked like she lost grip on the ball. Wiese goes at Rose, kick out. Vogel in the corner. 8 to shoot. Vogel drives baseline, and it will remain Warriors basketball with 7 on the shot clock. Wiese will inbound. She sends it into the corner. Sanford left open, and she makes the Dolphins pay.
Sanford left wide open there off the inbound. That's an easy 3-pointer for her.
The Dolphins saw Pishak cut to the rim and collapsed. Great vision by Wiese to find Sanford in the corner. As LaFaro can't finish off glass, the Warriors look to run. Sanford up to Giordano. She gets it right back. Wiese left open for 3. That was halfway down and out, but Pishak grabs the rebound. It's stolen away by Johnson. Johnson Euro step off the window and no good. Perry grabs the offensive board, and she was fouled.
Nice job there by Perry to follow Johnson on the fast break and get the offensive rebound. Gets fouled. That's the fourth team foul now for East Stroudsburg. So free throws could come into play here as we have 5 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the second quarter. The inbound pass there went to Mosinge, and she got fouled. So she will head to the free throw line here for 2 shots.
Here's a look at that last sequence as Johnson came up with the steal. A beautiful move on the Euro step, but could not convert the layup. Noemi Mosinge right back to the line for the Dolphins. And she's off on the first.
Dolphins need to start making these free throws count, Joe. It's a great way for them to get back in the game. Currently, they've been fouled 5 times just this quarter.
Dolphins now 8 of 14 from the line. That's better than they started, but still not where they'd like that free throw percentage to be. They've attempted 14 free throws, as I mentioned. They've missed 12 shots already, 4 of 16 from the floor. They need to convert on every opportunity at the line. Warriors lead the Dolphins by 9. Vogel dribbles back out toward the corner, and she lost it.
Dolphins within single digits still. Need to start making some of these offensive possessions count here to continue to trim the lead.
Alarcon up top. Gets it to Johnson. The Dolphins have just not been able to get the ball inside at all. They've had to drive, and when they have, they've been met with a lot of resistance. Johnson, good look, and she gets the friendly roll.
A lot of lucky bounces here this afternoon, Joe, for both teams. That one, no exception, as Johnson's able to roll that one in.
That's a soft rim down at that end of the floor. Though during my pregame shoot-around, I got a very friendly roll off the other basket. Vogel up top, and they work it inside to Saylor, and Saylor traveled.
Good defense now by the Dolphins on back-to-back possessions.
And inside of the 5-minute mark, we will have our media timeout in the second quarter. Our score heading into a quick commercial break. East Stroudsburg University 26 and the College of Staten Island 19.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experiences possible.
And we are back from the tank. Joe Foreman rejoins you alongside Nick Durst as the Dolphins will look to make up a 7-point first-half deficit. We spoke about it during the pregame, Nick. This Dolphins team has become all too familiar with playing from behind late in games. They've done a good job in staging some late-game comebacks, but are still looking for their first win, and that will certainly help as Perry buries a 3.
That's going to help there. Perry fired up the big 3, and the Dolphins are as close as they've been since the opening minutes.
And Vogel can't answer from the top of the arc. Dolphins now have it within 4. Alarcon spins, and she traveled.
She's done that a couple of times here this afternoon, unfortunately. Getting a little too aggressive going towards the rim.
Turnovers have been a problem for the Dolphins. That's number 9. The Warriors have 7 of their own. Saylor working against Alarcon. She handed off to Giordano, who almost had it knocked away. Vogel drives left against Rose, and a blocking foul is called, but that's only the first Dolphins team foul. 20 on the shot clock for East Stroudsburg. Sabato feeds it inside. Vogel out of a double team, and it won't go, but Izzy Vogel heads to the line for 2 shots.
Well, we know Vogel's not afraid to shoot it, and that was no exception there. Didn't go down, but she was fouled, and she heads to the free throw line.
Vogel's already attempted 8 shots, has hit both of her free throws. She has 6 points, and she stays at 6 for now. One more to come from the line for Vogel. She goes 1 of 2, and Noemia Masinge will check back in for the Dolphins. Kyra Rose to the Dolphins bench with 3:34 to play in the second quarter. Dolphins have trailed by as many as 10. Chance to make this a 2-point game, and Masinge can't finish, but Perry flies in for the rebound as that ball hits Sanford in the face.
Sanford visibly shaken up there. Looks like it was hitting the nose, and she is bleeding. So they're calling over the trainer now to take a look at her.
That ball hit her right in the nose as the Dolphins look to hit Phelan on the cut. Ryan Weesey will check back in. Sanford being attended to alongside the Warriors bench. Didn't seem to have much of a reaction to getting hit until she started bleeding. Then she headed straight over to the bench. Looked like she might try and shake it off. Vogel blocked by Alarcon, and will stay right here.
I got to say, Joe, really impressed by the Dolphins' defense today. They prevented some shots, forced a lot of turnovers, and that's what's really kept them in the game.
Corner 3 from Weesey is good. And if they've given her even a couple of inches of space, she's made them pay.
She's unstoppable. She just does not miss. So you need to get a hand in her face when she's going to attempt those 3-pointers.
Dolphins back behind by 8. Phelan, too strong. And the Dolphins are able to come away with that rebound. Alarcon swatted it to her teammates as Phelan doesn't get the roll on the floater. Alarcon offensive rebound put back no good, and the rebound goes to the Warriors.
Tough to come up empty on that possession when you had so many chances. Dolphins trail by 8 with 2 minutes left, just about.
Good job there by Masinge to see that pass coming. Here comes Alarcon to the rim. Left-handed bank shot, and an offensive foul is called against Alarcon, who is visibly frustrated.
Alarcon called for the charge. Not happy with that.
Alarcon without a made field goal, just 2 points, 3 turnovers. Does have 5 rebounds, a block, and a couple of steals. But she's been kept quiet at the offensive end. In her defense, the Dolphins just haven't been able to get her the ball. Vogel into the corner for Weesey. They work it inside. Saylor, kick out. Vogel shot, not close, and rebounded by Lambert.
1 minute and 45 seconds left here. If the Dolphins want to continue to chip away at this, definitely do not want to go into halftime down double digits.
Johnson has it up top with 15 on the shot clock. Mid-range pull-up, off the mark, but Johnson was fouled.
So Johnson will head back to the free throw line once again here for some more free throws. And the story, Joe, right now has been that the Dolphins, they're getting to the line, but they're just not very efficient at this point.
It was a very poor start. They've gotten a bit better. They're up to 8 of 14 and now 9 of 15. I think the biggest takeaway from the first half stat sheet, if things don't change in the next 93 seconds, will be the Dolphins have shot just 6 of 22, and they are still very much in this game.
Right. Well, true to form with East Stroudsburg, they always get out-rebounded. Dolphins ahead in the rebounds right now, 19-14. Dolphins have had quite a few offensive rebounds as well, 7, but they haven't been able to capitalize on too many of those second-chance opportunities.
Only 5 second-chance points off of those 7 offensive boards. Speaking of offensive boards, there's one for the Warriors, but Saylor couldn't finish.
This could be a big swing here if the Dolphins are able to score.
You're right, Nick. Big possession here for CSI. Rose looks to drive, gets right to the rim and finishes.
Wow, what a beautiful move there. Kyra is certainly doing a great job getting to the basket in this game.
Warriors by 4. Once again, they can go 2 for 1. They have time. Weesey is fouled. Dolphins had a foul to give. .5 remaining in this first half. 20 on the shot clock. And Brianna Moore heads to the scorer's table. She didn't get there in time. Corner 3, no good. Perry with the rebound.
Dolphins score here, Joe. All the momentum is going to be with them headed to the locker room.
Splash! Ashley Lambert from downtown.
Ashley Lambert cashing in with the opportunity. Wide open in the corner and knocks down the 3. Dolphins down by 1 now.
Dolphins have come storming back in the second quarter. And the Dolphins strip it away. 6 seconds to play in the quarter. Rose, Masinge, three-pointer, splash, and the Dolphins take the lead. Noemia Masinge from downtown, and the Dolphins head into halftime leading 32-30.
Will the Dolphins go into halftime trailing? No, not today. Noemia buries the 3, and the Dolphins are now ahead 32-30. What a last 1 minute there for the Dolphins as you see Masinge knocking down the 3 as the clock expires. 32-30, the Dolphins head into the locker room. What a comeback, Joe.
A tremendous finish to the first half for the College of Staten Island. They now lead it by 2. The Dolphins trailed by as many as 10 points in this game, and our score heading into the halftime break, CSI 32, East Stroudsburg 30. When we come back, more NCAA Division II women's basketball coverage on CSI Sportsnet.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
Hi, Meals on Wheels. I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels. I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can. And then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
And we are back from the tank, where the Dolphins turned a 10-point deficit into a 2-point lead right at the end of the second quarter. Once again, this is Joe Foreman alongside Nick Durst. And Nick, we talked about it. We really liked what the Dolphins were doing defensively in that first half. I said they had to put the ball in the basket in order to get back in this game, and that is exactly what they did. A big run to close out that second quarter, and the Dolphins lead by 2 at the start of quarter number 3.
What a last minute there. That was incredible. And if you're playing CSI Dolphins bingo, did you have a Noemi Masinge three-pointer to put the Dolphins ahead going into halftime on your card? If so, you definitely hit the jackpot there. That was a tremendous job by her. No fear, making that shot, and that was key. And looking at East Stroudsburg, Joe, the fact of the matter is that right now, Ryan Wiese is leading them. 12 points, only 30 overall for this team. She has almost half their points. And if the Dolphins shot a little better at the free throw line in the first half, they might have a bigger lead than 2 right now. But great job by the Dolphins to come back to take the lead. But right now, this is still anybody's game.
We see 4 of 5. The rest of the team just 7 of 24. So we mentioned the Dolphins would have to step up offensively in order to get back into this game. The rest of the Warriors need to be a bit more efficient the rest of the way if they're going to regain the lead and ultimately stay unbeaten on the season. But we said it, Nick. The Dolphins in the last couple of minutes of that second quarter with a ferocious run. The Dolphins shot it very poorly for most of that first half. They finished the half shooting 36%. Of course, I'd like to get that number up, but not too bad considering how things started. Perhaps more importantly, as we saw late in the half, the three-point shooting. The Dolphins are now 4 of 7 from downtown, 57% for the game.
They did a great job there to close out the first half.
Lambert bounce pass for Johnson. She nearly traveled. Alarcon swings it. Lambert, three-pointer. Too strong. And the rebound goes to Vogel. We see for Vogel. Now Sanford on the left wing. We see feet inside for Vogel. Vogel's hook shot, no good. And the rebound goes to Alarcon, who stays on her feet. LaFaro left open, corner 3, splash.
Lizzie right there coming out and telling East Stroudsburg, it's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me. And knocks down the 3 right in the defense's face.
We see. Tried to kick it out. It was knocked down by Lambert, but it's recovered by Saylor. 10 on the shot clock. We see for Vogel. Vogel pulls up. Short. Rebound's tipped in the air and pulled in by Masinge. Here comes Kaya Johnson. Dolphins now lead it by 5. Johnson for LaFaro. LaFaro draws the foul. And I thought they might get LaFaro for extending that left arm there. Dolphins will inbound with 20 to shoot. Johnson for LaFaro. Johnson gets it back in the corner. And once again, the Dolphins having a very hard time getting the ball to Jenelise Alarcon in the post.
Nice job there, though, by Marquise, our co-worker, to make the stop with the ball going out of bounds. But the key is going to be getting Alarcon the ball here in the post. If you're able to do that here with a high success rate in the second half, she should be able to score.
The Warriors have put a lot of effort into keeping Alarcon out of this game as Lambert buries the pull-up and the Dolphins lead by 7.
Ashley Lambert for 2.
Ashley off the screen there by Alarcon, able to get open and knock down the shot.
And the other Dolphins outside of Alarcon, we mentioned during the pregame, needed to step up their scoring a bit. They've done just that as Sanford knocks down a 3. That's a big shot for the Warriors.
Sanford wide open there, takes the 3 and knocks it down.
Lambert in the corner, head fake inside to LaFaro on the pass. LaFaro pivots and can't get the lay-in to go.
Tough shot attempt there from LaFaro.
Dolphins with very balanced scoring in this game. LaFaro has 6, Lambert has 5. As that's an air ball. Vogel continues to struggle. She's 2 of 14.
She's certainly not afraid to shoot, though.
Certainly not. Johnson has 5, Rose has 4, and Perry has 5, rounding out The Dolphins scores with at least 4 points as Masinge tries another 3, but that's off the mark. And that's a nice pass up the floor, setting up Sanford wide open under the basket. Weesey with the assist, and it's back to a 2-point Dolphin lead. Lambert with 20 on the shot clock, gets it over to LaFaro. LaFaro pushed off, and she got away with it the first time, did not get away with it there.
Certainly some contact there.
LaFaro has been extending that left arm on her drives. She did it on the last drive, got away with it, and picked up the call on the blocking foul. Did not get away with it that time. That's certainly the right call. Warriors have a chance to tie the score or take the lead here. Weesey for 3, and that's good. 8 straight points for East Stroudsburg, and just like that, the Warriors are back in front by 1. And with that timeout coming early in this third quarter, we have a media timeout, and that means a quick break for us. Our score with 6:26 remaining in quarter number 3, East Stroudsburg 38 and the College of Staten Island 37.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back from the tank. Dolphins trail by 1 after leading by 7 just a couple of minutes ago. Quick 8-0 surge by the Warriors has given them the lead. This is Johnson, and she traveled.
Johnson almost wasn't expecting that pass from Alarcon.
Turnovers continue to plague the Dolphins. That's number 13 in this game. Vogel on the left wing. And an offensive foul is called against Weesey on the screen.
See if the Dolphins can capitalize here on this possession.
Inside of 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. Dolphins can take the lead back with a basket here. They get it inside to Alarcon. She's one-on-one with Vogel. Alarcon, bad pass, was tipped. Dolphins have 10 to shoot. LaFaro. And we have a foul in the corner. Kyra Rose and Dana Phelan into the game for the Dolphins. Corinne Gill into the game for the Warriors.
Izzy Vogel for the Warriors is really making Alarcon uncomfortable in the paint. 2 times in a row, the ball got to Alarcon down low, and she ended up trying to kick it out as she didn't feel comfortable going to the rim to shoot.
Johnson doesn't get the roll on the mid-range pull-up. We mentioned Gill had a nice first half, only played 8 minutes, but got off to a strong start offensively as that three-pointer is way off. Sanford not close.
Air ball there, goes out of bounds.
Kaya Johnson now just 1 of 5 from the field after that last miss.
Lisa Perry back in the game for the Dolphins. Lizzie LaFaro to the bench.
Perry was 2 of 2 with 5 points off the bench in the first half. Rose for Johnson, and once again, that pass was tipped on the way out. This is Perry, and I think that was a deep 2. Rolls off the rim, and the rebound goes to the Warriors. Dolphins offense has gone cold all of a sudden. They got off to a great start in this quarter as Gill throws one off the window, not close. Come the Dolphins back the other way. Phelan for Johnson, right back to Phelan. Three-pointer, no good. See if the Warriors look to run. They do. A great pass up ahead, but Vogel couldn't get the layup to go. Another great pass by Weesey on the break. 12 on the shot clock. This is Gill. She's trying to set up a play here. She looks to drive. 5 on the shot clock. Weesey lost it. And Saylor was blocked. We have a shot clock violation. And it will be Dolphins ball.
Excellent defense there by the Dolphins to force the shot clock violation. And that'll take us to a media timeout, Joe.
Second media timeout of the quarter with 3:50 on the clock. Our score remains East Stroudsburg 38, Staten Island 37.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we're back from the College of Staten Island, where it has been over 4 minutes since the last Dolphins field goal. CSI came out of the gate strong in half number 2. A Lizzie LaFaro 3 and an Ashley Lambert mid-range jumper put the Dolphins ahead by 7. They have not scored since. The Warriors in the midst of an 8-0 run as Rose is rejected underneath. Big block there by Saylor. Here comes Alarcon. She flips it over to Johnson, who looks to drive, and Johnson can't get the layup to go.
Dolphins just haven't been able to get any clean looks driving towards the rim.
Weesey fakes, and her shot is short, but the rebound goes to Vogel. Great. Saylor on the inside, spins and finishes. Count the basket and one.
Saylor taking advantage of Alarcon being up at the perimeter and is able to use her height to her advantage. Lays it up and in. Has a chance for one more here.
And we spoke about it during the pregame, Nick. The Dolphins ideally did not want to be playing behind again late in the game. And we're getting close to that point now. The deficit remains 3 after that missed free throw, but the Dolphins had a good opportunity, leading by 7, to perhaps take a lead into the 4th. 20 on the shot clock. Rose gets trapped on the outside. This is Jenkins. Jenkins, open three-pointer. Too strong, and the rebound goes to Vogel. That's 6 boards for Vogel. She's shooting just 2 of 15, but you said it, Nick. She's done good work defensively on the inside. Sailor against Masinge, and she's fouled.
So she will go back to the line here as Lambert will check in for the Dolphins for Phelan.
Cassidy Sailor to the line for 2 shots. The Warriors' run right now stands at 10-0. Make it 11.
Dolphins came out, 5-0 run, and the Warriors respond with an 11-0 run.
Dolphins haven't scored in nearly 6 minutes. Second free throw is no good. Dolphins work it around the outside. Rose around the back. 10 on the shot clock. The Dolphins not going anywhere on this possession either. Masinge looks to drive, and she had it poked away. Perry, air ball. Good effort there by Perry to chase that ball down, but threw up an air ball, and the Dolphins' drought continues.
Perry had to rush that shot with the shot clock expiring there.
Vogel, hands off to Gill. Gill's floater is good. Count it. And one once again.
Gill has been doing that same move all game long, making her minimum minutes count. Drives to the left side, lays it up and in. This is the second time she will go to the line off that move for an N1 attempt.
If I'm not mistaken, that makes 14 points in the paint for East Stroudsburg. They haven't scored much on the inside, but when they have, they've been very impressive with their finishes around the rim. Gill's certainly been a part of that. She gives the Warriors a 7-point lead, and if the Dolphins aren't careful, this game could get away from them before the fourth quarter. They need a basket. Masinge gets a screen from Moore. Masinge on the drive. And she doesn't get the roll, but Moore has the rebound. Put back. No good. Tipped by Perry. And it will be Dolphins basketball.
Moore in the game now to shore up the paint, to make it a little harder for Gill and the Warriors to take it to the basket.
Lambert will inbound, 20 on the shot clock. This is Perry for Moore. Now LaFaro. LaFaro for 3. Short and rebounded by Vogel.
Bit of a far shot there from LaFaro, unable to convert.
Weesey left open, and she makes the Dolphins pay. A transition 3 for Ryan Weesey, and the Warriors' lead is back up to double digits. They lead by 10.
It's almost too easy for Weesey right now with her 15 points. Most of them coming off the three-pointers.
That's a great feed by LaFaro, finding the cutting Perry. Dolphins need a lot more of that. Easy baskets on the inside. I'm not sure they've had one yet in this game.
No.
Not much in transition, and certainly not much under the rim in the half court. That was a tight window on that attempted pass by Gill. It's deflected away with 12 on the shot clock. The Dolphins have just 8 points in the paint in this game. With that last make, that total moves to 10. 10 in the paint, 10 from the free throw line. And that's too easy as Vogel catches off the inbound and lays it in.
Dolphins now trail by 10. Outscored so far in this quarter, 19-9.
10 seconds remaining in the quarter. Lambert's 3. Cash.
Needed that. Ashley Lambert with the big 3 there.
And the Warriors weren't aware of how much time was left out on the court. So with that, the third quarter comes to a close. East Stroudsburg leads Staten Island 49-42. The Dolphins hit a couple of big shots late in that quarter to stay within single digits, but once again, they will play from behind in the final quarter. When we come back, the conclusion of this NCAA Division II women's basketball matchup on CSI Sportsnet.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back here at the tank as action has resumed here. Dolphins trail 49-42 as we have a turnover right away, right out of the gate here to start the fourth quarter. Lambert with the ball. Passes it to Alarcon. Alarcon driving, dishes it out to Moore. Moore over to LaFaro. LaFaro dribbles, takes it to the rim, lays it up, and it's no good, and Stroudsburg comes away with the rebound, Joe.
Had to head across to the stats desk, pass along some information during the break between quarters, as the Warriors can't connect from the mid-range. This is Perry over to LaFaro. LaFaro looks to drive. She sends it up top to Lambert, who looks to drive. The floater is no good off the front rim. And the rebound once again goes to Vogel. Straight to the rim goes Corinne Gill, and that's far too easy.
You have to take away Gill's left-handed dribble here. All of her points have come off on that left-handed layup. Force it to the right side.
Force her to her right. Should be the game plan. LaFaro for Moore. Moore. Underneath, finishes the layup.
That might be the first point in the paint the Dolphins have had on an easy look all day.
That backdoor cut by Perry is the first easy basket inside I could recall. Saylor was fouled by Moore. Cassidy Saylor to the line for 2 shots as Kaya Johnson checks in for the Dolphins. Free throw no good.
Saylor unable to convert there.
We mentioned the Dolphins in the first half did not shoot it well from the free throw line. They've at least turned that around a bit. They're up to 62.5%. The Warriors are now 5 of 12 after those 2 misses. Lambert's 3, short. That was a big shot. A quality look in transition for the Dolphins as Gill was left open. She kicks out, and that's not the player you want to leave open if you're the Dolphins. Weesey left uncontested, and she buries another 3.
Certainly not who you want to let touch the ball beyond the arc. She's going to shoot, and most of the time she is going to make it.
Every shot Weesey has taken has been a 3. She is 6 of 8, came in on the season 12 of 15. She is now 18 of 23 as LaFaro threw up an air ball, and the rebound goes to the Warriors. Chance for East Stroudsburg to take their largest lead of the game. Gill up top. We see deep three. That's good.
I think you have to potentially try to just double team her.
Ball denial, Nick. They have to deny her the ball.
Yeah.
She hasn't taken a shot inside the arc yet. Make it a bit more difficult. Ball denial on the perimeter. Seems to be the only option left. Moore will try the mid-range. That rattles out. Alarcon offensive board. Can't finish the putback.
Moore had a good look. Alarcon, great effort there on the offensive board. Just doesn't make the shot fall.
Alarcon still sitting on just 2 points. Sanford on the drive. Kick out. Saylor into the corner. Gill is open. That's too strong. Sanford the rebound. 10 on the shot clock. Weesey gets a screen. Now Gill looks to drive left, and she is fouled. Now, Nick, to me, that looked awfully close.
I thought it was potentially a block. No real argument from LaFaro there, but she was kind of laughing after that.
Lizzie LaFaro, her second, team's second.
We'll have to back that up a bit more.
But Gill goes to the line here.
Here's a second look at it. Tough to tell. Our monitor isn't the highest resolution screen. But there's a second look at it for everyone at home. The Warriors' lead continues to grow. Now stands at 14 points. And a timeout has been called by the Dolphins. So with that, we're going to step aside and take a quick break. Our score with just over 6 minutes to play in the final quarter. East Stroudsburg 58, Staten Island 44. And we are back from the tank where the Dolphins now trail by a game-high 14 points. CSI led by 7 in the third quarter, 37-30. A big run by the Warriors put them ahead once again, and they have been ahead ever since. Ryan Weesey in this game has been fantastic once again. In just 25 minutes, she's 8 of 10 on all three-pointers. She has 24 points for East Stroudsburg.
Well, if the Dolphins want to win here, they need more of that. A nice shot by Rose. The Dolphins need to start scoring here on most of their shot opportunities, and they need to slow down Weesey and Gill.
Saylor on the inside. Weesey back to Saylor. She was heavily contested from behind there. Here comes Kyra Rose, who buried that last mid-range shot for the Dolphins, and she has it stripped away. Here comes Gill, and Gill will wisely slow it down. Gill drives right this time, can't finish, and she is right-handed. I checked on her last shot attempt from the mid-range, and good dexterity shown throughout the game on those layups as Johnson and Alarcon weren't on the same page there. Gill once again looked to drive. That was kicked by Alarcon. It stays Warriors basketball now. You certainly can't write the Dolphins off in this game. They were down 20 against Holy Family in the fourth quarter of their season opener. They came all the way back to within 4 points.
Under 5 minutes left to play here, so got to start making things happen.
Dolphins are just a run away, but they have to make sure they don't give Weesey any space from three, make the other Warriors beat them from the inside. And Alarcon is whistled for a foul on the baseline. The Dolphin supporters not happy, to put it mildly. And there's another three for the Warriors as Shyla Sanford buries one from beyond the arc. 4.5 to play. Dolphins trail by 15. That may have been the dagger. This is Rose, baseline drive. She pivots off the spin, and that's a nice finish by Kyra Rose.
Rose having herself a nice game here this afternoon. And she's trying to keep the Dolphins in this one.
Rose has 8 points, 7 rebounds, and an assist. Feet inside. Saylor. Now, they might call that a hop step, but she caught the ball and then immediately left the floor and landed on 2 feet before getting fouled. Not sure you can do that. Not sure about that.
Well, we talked to the referee before the game. He said he's never missed a call before, so.
I don't doubt him for a second. If someone tells you that they've never missed a call, you know they're honest.
Of course.
First free throw is no good. That's just what the Dolphins need to stay in this game. The East Stroudsburg lead is 13 points, just inside of 4 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Second free throw, no good. Jenkins has the rebound. Rose takes it inside and draws the foul.
Well, this is what the Dolphins are going to need, Joe. Then you're going to need to score points with the clock stopped because it's only 3 minutes and 46 seconds remaining in this game.
And you know the Dolphins coaching staff has to like what they're seeing from Kyra Rose here, attacking the basket aggressively, but she's been under control. Finds her way back to the free throw line here. And connects on the first. Second free throw is no good.
Dolphins going with a bit of a smaller lineup right now with Alarcon and Moore both on the bench.
Perhaps the Dolphins feel this lineup is what they need at this moment based on what they've seen so far in the game, but they're missing a lot of regular players right now. Lambert is not in, LaFaro is not in, Alarcon is not in. 1 second to shoot. Sanford for three, and she buries it.
Good job there by Sanford to gather that pass and rush up the shot before the clock expires. And she's able to knock it down.
That was poked away by Saylor. This is Phelan into the corner. Jenkins looks to drive and is fouled. Now we'll get a second look at that last three. Let's slow it down a bit as well. It looked like she got it off for sure, but we'll double check here.
Jenkins knocks down her first free throw.
She certainly got it off, no doubt about it. Two for two from the line. Steal on the inbound. Count it! And one. Amaya Jenkins goes 2 for 2 from the line, steals the ensuing inbound, and scores 2 more.
Oh, Amaya. Jenkins there with the 4-point swing. And now she goes back to the free throw line for one more attempt here, Joe. Could be a 5-point swing by her.
What an effort by Jenkins. And we will get a second look at it in just a moment. As she connects on the free throw. Here's a quick look at what transpired on the inbound as the Dolphins exert some full court pressure here. This building begins to get loud as we have under 3 minutes to play. Dolphins trail by 10. They need to stop.
See if they can get this to single digits. 2.5 minutes left.
Gill, hand it off. Looking to drive is Adams. She dropped it off back to Gill. Floater, short. Rebound by Johnson. Johnson for Rose. Rose attacks and threw one toward the baseline. It will remain Dolphins basketball.
Rose was smothered there. The ball Got knocked out of bounds.
This unit has gotten it done for the Dolphins over these last couple of minutes. Can they finish? Masinge to the rim. And she converts off the top of the backboard.
How did that go in, Joe? That almost hit next to the shot clock, and it falls.
She's done that before. Sanford was trapped. Gill with 20 on the shot clock. Her team leading by 8. Vogel, no good. Johnson tips it and pulls it in. Masinge in the corner, looks to drive to the rim, and she draws the foul.
What a run right now for the Dolphins, Joe. Masinge goes to the line for 2 crucial free throws here.
I thought that 3 by Sanford to put the Warriors back up 15 may have been the dagger, but the Dolphins continue to demonstrate this resilience we've seen from them all season.
Could be their reverse broadcaster's jinx by you.
Perhaps. Though I did say before that, you can never write this team off. They trailed by 20 in the fourth quarter of their opener, came all the way back to within 4. A free throw here will make this a 6-point game. And Masinge goes 2 of 2 from the line. We have a 2-possession game. Ryan Weesey checks back in. Vogel to the bench. Dolphins will apply full court pressure. And we have a whistle and a foul against Dana Phelan before the ball was inbounded.
Refs are hearing it from the fans here. The Fanatics are not happy about that one, Joe.
See if we can spot anything on the replay. We're going to slow it down in just a moment and get a second look.
But Gill heads to the free throw line here on this, so could be a momentum switcher.
First free throw is up and good. It's a 7-point game. I didn't see much there, Nick.
May you make the case that Gill was being forced out of bounds there? I don't know.
Perhaps. 2 of 2 for Gill at the line. And Jenkins finishes a circus shot. Amaya Jenkins coming up huge in this fourth quarter, and the lead is back down to 6.
Oh, Amaya Jenkins there with the circus shot, lays it up and in. And the Dolphins now trail by 6 with 1:34 seconds left in this one.
Well, Nick, we need to get you a soundboard. Taking a look down at our mixer, I do believe we have options for a line into the soundboard. We need to get it for you so you don't have to do that yourself.
All natural over here.
Dolphins trail 66-60. Just over a minute and a half to play.
All right, Joe, come out of this timeout here. For the Warriors, what do you think they drew up? How do they got to beat this press?
That's a great question. I think Dolphins done a really good job with it. They look to throw it toward half court on that last inbound, and they might not get this in. As Weesey lost it and somehow saved it. 5 seconds to get it across. They do. I thought Weesey dribbled that ball out of bounds.
That's what a lot of people thought there.
I certainly thought she dribbled it out of bounds. 12 on the shot clock. Chance of defense from the Fanatics.
Weesey.
Kick out. Sanford's open for 3. No good. Rose has the rebound. 1 minute to play. Rose to the basket. Offensive foul.
We got a fan running on the court. They can't believe it.
Well, they can't be on the court. As timeout has been called by the Warriors. We will get a second look at that last offensive foul call in just a moment. We'll slow it down for you as well. Here's a second look at it. And watching this in real time, I could see it come. That is not an offensive foul. I thought that Gill was trying to set up. That's a bad call, Nick. That's a bad call.
Oh, the fans were losing their minds.
We'll get one more look at it in just a moment, but you can see on the replay.
Let's watch it again here. We'll see.
Gill is clearly moving her feet. Oh, that is a really, really bad call. And I'm not one who often gets on the officials, but I think that one on replay was obvious. That is a very bad call.
Could potentially be the game-saving call.
A minute to play. The Dolphins will look to play this one out. 20 seconds on the shot clock. 45 seconds remaining in the game. Weesey almost threw it away. Sanford back up top to Weesey. She wants a screen. She kicks out for Gill. Sanford, another kick out. Three-pointer by Adams, too long, and Weesey has the rebound.
I think you need to foul here, and they finally do.
And once again, the Dolphins with a spirited comeback attempt in the final quarter. But Weesey can put this one on ice from the free throw line. And once again, it looks like the Dolphins will come up short in the final quarter. And we said it, Nick. The Dolphins early in this game played very solid defense. We liked what we saw from them defensively. But at the offensive end, they simply could not score through the first quarter and a half. Late in the second, they found a way to put points on the board in bunches. Took a 2-point lead into halftime, but once again in the third, they had another extended offensive drought, and it looks like that's going to be their undoing in this game.
Certainly missing some offensive production here so far this season. So we mentioned in the pregame, I think it's going to make a big difference when Gia Esposito is medically cleared to play, because she, we know, can score at will at times, and they're just missing that hot shooting so far this season.
No doubt about that, Nick. And as you said when we came on to the air, Gia hopes to be back for the Dolphins' next game, which would be here at home anyway, a week from tomorrow. The Dolphins will be back in action before that on the road. Our next broadcast will be a week from tomorrow. The Dolphins are on the road on Tuesday at Wilmington University.
I'm not going to let you make the same mistake twice, Joe. Last year, you forgot to wish our listeners a happy Thanksgiving, and you had to wish it to them after the fact.
That's
So
right.
I'll give you the reminder now.
We'll sign off with it and test my memory. We'll send everyone away with a happy Thanksgiving wish from us here at CSI Sportsnet when we sign off at the conclusion of the broadcast. The Dolphins trail by 8. They will inbound with 24 and a half seconds to play in the game. Masinge hands off to Johnson. Phelan over to Rose.
Got to get a shot up here.
Not much urgency here. Masinge from Rose, and she scores.
Too much time taking off the clock there.
The Warriors get it in. Weesey is fouled. 7.9 remaining. We'll take a look at some of the numbers from this game first. For the two teams, the Warriors shooting a tick above 41% for the game, 12 of 22 from three-point range, only 10 of 20 from the line. They haven't done a good job from the charity stripe. That's been one of the few blemishes on their stat line. You said it earlier, Nick, the Dolphins had a distinct advantage on the glass. That has gone away. The Dolphins with only a 3-rebound advantage. The Dolphins committed 17 turnovers in this game. They had 26 points from their bench players, but behind only 36% shooting and 40% from downtown, which is good. The Dolphins simply couldn't overcome what was a poor start to this first game, I should say this first half, and second half here this afternoon. Dolphins once again found themselves playing from behind in the final quarter, and the deficit was too much to overcome.
Certainly a rough loss here, or it looks like. Dolphins take a timeout here. Lambert's going to check back in the game, so expect her to get the ball here for a quick three. See if you can keep this one going for a little bit.
7.9 on the clock. Dolphins back behind by 8. Likely they diagram something off the inbound here, try and run a play in the closing seconds of this game. But for the Dolphins, it's going to be an 0-4 start to their season as they get a good look, and Phelan can't connect on the three. Rebound goes to the Warriors, and the Dolphins will let the rest of the clock run out as East Stroudsburg University improves to 3-0. They remain unbeaten. As for the Dolphins, they remain winless at 0-4. For the College of Staten Island, Noemia Masinge led the way in scoring with 15 points. She was an efficient 4 of 7 from the field, 6 of 8 from the free throw line. She added 4 rebounds and an assist. Dolphins' second leading scorer was Kyra Rose. She had a nice fourth quarter. The Dolphins went with several reserves down the stretch in this game. They had no less than 3 key players on the bench when this game came to a close. But for the College of Staten Island, they will be back at it on Tuesday, still looking for win number 1.
Rough start to the season, not what they wanted here. But Ryan Weesey was just too much to handle. She was ridiculous from three-point range.
Weesey was 8 of 10 from downtown, 4 of 4 from the line, 28 points. Shyla Sanford hit some very big shots in the fourth quarter for the Warriors. She was 6 of 9 from the floor, 4 of 7 from downtown. She had 16 points. Corinne Gill also had 12 points in 23 minutes. She was 4 of 9 from the field, 4 of 6 from the free throw line. So that will wrap up our coverage of this NCAA Division II women's basketball matchup. Once again, it is the East Stroudsburg University Warriors over the CSI Dolphins by a final score of 70-62. For the Warriors, they remain unbeaten, improving to 3-0. The Dolphins fall to 0-4. And Nick, I did not forget, for all of our viewers at home, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving, as our next broadcast will come 1 week from tomorrow. On Sunday, November 27th, the Dolphins will be in action on their home floor against Pace University. That will also be a women's basketball broadcast. Also, be sure to check out our Dolphin Pod interview with CSI women's basketball head coach Nicole Sarcone coming soon. We hope to potentially debut that ahead of Sunday's game, but we'll see how the week plays out. Until next time, thanks for watching. Everyone have a happy Thanksgiving and enjoy the rest of your weekend.